Hello students, my name is Niyati Said and thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. My topic for the presentation is 13th section of the chapter Internal Morphology of Flowering Plants. In this section of the video, we will discuss about the anatomy of dicot leaf students. Dicot leaf is also known as dorsiventral leaf. Okay, so let's proceed towards our topic, that is anatomy of dicot leaf students. As I told you that for a better understanding of tissue organization of roots, stem and leaves, it is always convenient to study the transverse section of mature zones of these organs students. Okay. So, the TS of dicot leaf is always observed under microscope students. This is the typical transverse section of dicot leaf. The vertical section of the dorsiventral leaf through the lamina shows three main parts, which are those: first is epidermis, second is mesophyll and third is vascular system. Okay. So, this is the TS of dicot leaf. Leaves, they are oriented horizontally with distinct upper and lower surface, okay, because of the unequal illumination on the two sides. So, this is also known as dorsiventral leaf students, okay. It is also known as bifacial leaf. So, this is the TS of dicot leaf students. A transverse section through the midrib region of a typical dorsiventral leaf, it reveals the following structure. First is your epidermis, okay. So, this is epidermis, first or upper epidermis, which is also known as adaxial epidermis, okay. And this is another epidermis. Okay, and these epidermis, they are made up of parenchymatous cells with no chloroplast in it, and these cells, they are very tightly packed. Okay, so the epidermis of a dorsiventral leaf is in two layers, one on each surface of the leaf. Both the layers are composed of compactly arranged barrel-shaped cells. Intercellular spaces are absent. Can you see the intercellular spaces present between the cells of the epidermis? No, students. They are very compactly packed with each other. So, intercellular spaces are absent in epidermis of dorsiventral leaf. A cuticle, it surrounds both the layers. Okay, this is the cuticle. This blue line is representing cuticle. Okay, cuticle is a waxy substance. Okay, so a cuticle, it surrounds both the layers of epidermis students. What's the significance of cuticle now? First, it prevents excess transpiration, and second is that it protects epidermis. Okay, so this is the two significance of cuticle. Why? It is covering both the layers of epidermis because it prevents excess transpiration and it protects epidermis. Multicellular hairs called trichomes are present on both the layers. Okay, and stomata are generally absent in it. Students, please note that the upper epidermis is known as adaxial and the lower one is called as abaxial. Okay, adaxial and abaxial. Okay. Students, please note that stomata occur only in the lower epidermis. See, this green one are the stomata. Can you see these green ones on the upper epidermis or on adaxial epidermis? No, student. There is no stomata present on the adaxial epidermis. Okay, that is your upper epidermis. Okay, but multicellular hairs called trichomes, they are present on both the layers, students. Okay, and stomata occurs only in the lower epidermis. This condition is described as hypostomatic. What it is called as? Hypostomatic. Stomatic means presence of stomata on the lower side of the epidermis, right? See, this is cuticle which is covering the lower epidermis and which has stomata present on it. That's why it is called as hypostomatic. Okay. See, stomata are present on the lower epidermis. Okay. At each stoma, there is a substomatal chamber. Okay. See, this is the chamber which we call it as substomatal chamber. Okay. At each stoma. Between upper and lower epidermis, photosynthetic tissue, which we call it as mesophyll, is present. See, this is mesophyll. Students, mesophyll is a ground tissue that occurs between the two epidermal layers. Okay? And they are tightly packed. They are elongated cells and they have abundant chloroplast in it. It is exclusively composed of parenchyma cells. The mesophyll cell is characteristically differentiated into two regions, namely upper palisade parenchyma and lower spongy parenchyma. Okay. So this is your palisade. Okay. This is your palisade, which is upper parenchyma, because I told you that mesophyll, it is characteristically differentiated into two regions. First is your upper palisade parenchyma and the lower is spongy parenchyma. See, these are the spongy parenchyma present. Okay. Students, please note that these spongy parenchyma, it is composed of few layers of loosely arranged spherical or oval parenchyma cells with prominent intercellular spaces. Can you see the intercellular spaces? Yes, intercellular spaces are there. Okay, so it has prominent intercellular spaces and it has few layers of loosely arranged spherical or oval parenchyma cells. These cells, they contain very few chloroplast in it, very few. Okay. And what about palisade parenchyma? It is composed of 2 or 3 layers of elongated, compactly arranged parenchyma cells. Okay. And intercellular spaces are absent. Can you see the intercellular spaces in the palisade mesophyll? No. There's no intercellular spaces present. The cells, they contain very large number of chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast is abundantly found in palisade mesophyll. Okay, so mesophyll, you can say that it is a ground tissue that occurs between the two epidermis. First is adaxial epidermis and second is your abaxial epidermis. Students, it is exclusively composed of parenchyma cells. I am talking about the mesophyll, okay, that it is exclusively composed of parenchyma cells. The mesophyll is characteristically differentiated into two regions, namely above or upper one is called as palisade mesophyll and second is your spongy mesophyll. Palisade mesophyll. Palisade parenchyma, it is composed of 2 to 3 layers of, I have shown only the 2 layers of it, but it is composed of 2 or 3 layers of elongated, compactly arranged parenchyma cells. Intercellular spaces are absent in it. The cells, they contain a very large number of chloroplast. Now, what about the spongy mesophyll? See, they have loosely arranged intercellular spaces and chloroplast in it. So, this is your spongy mesophyll. It is composed of very few layers of loosely arranged spherical and oval. See, these are oval here. Oval parenchyma cells with prominent intercellular spaces. See, intercellular spaces are there. And these cells, they contain very few chloroplast in it. Very few. Whereas, in the palisade mesophyll, abundant chlorophyll was there. Okay. Now what is this? Let's look at the vein or the vascular bundle right in the center. Okay, what is this? This is protoxylem, this is metaxylem, these are phloem. Okay, because there is no cambium present between the xylem, which is represented by this pink color, and this is phloem, which is represented by blue color, and cambium is usually present between phloem and xylem, but here in the dicot leaf there's no cambium present between the xylem and the phloem. That's why it is called as conjoined collateral closed, students. Okay, what it is called as? It is called as conjoined collateral closed. So this is your xylem, this is your phloem, students. Okay, this yellow ones are your bundle sheet. Okay, what it is? It is bundle sheet. Vascular system of a dicot leaf, it includes vascular bundles which can be seen in veins and the midrib. The size of the vascular bundle, they are dependent on the size of the vein. The veins, they vary in thickness in the reticulate venation. Okay, and students, please note that each vein has a bundle sheet cell. See, this is bundle sheet cell, and each vein has a bundle sheet cell which is composed of single layer of compactly arranged barrel shaped parenchyma cells. The bundle sheet, it encloses both xylem and phloem. As you can see, this is xylem and this is phloem. Okay, xylem is found towards the upper epidermis and phloem towards the lower epidermis. See, this is the phloem which is found below the bundle sheet, below layer of the bundle sheet. Okay, so in xylem, many protoxylem and metaxylem vessels are found. See, this is your protoxylem and this is your metaxylem. Okay, so in the xylem, many protoxylem and metaxylem vessels are found. Protoxylem, it orients towards upper epidermis. See, I told you that this is the protoxylem which is lying close to the upper epidermis, and this is the metaxylem which is found close to the lower epidermis, which is this one. Okay, hence vascular bundles, they are described as conjoined and collateral with endoxylem. The bundle sheet of the midrib vein is connected to the upper and the lower epidermal layers by many layers of parenchyma cells, and thus it represents bundle sheet extensions or hypodermal parenchyma. Okay, so this was the anatomy of the TS of dicot leaf, where we have studied that it has two epidermis. One is this and second is this. Okay, first epidermis or upper epidermis is known as adaxial epidermis, and this is known as abaxial epidermis. Okay, it is seen that epidermis is in two layers. If we study about the dicot leaf, one on each surface of the leaf, and both the layers, they are composed of compactly arranged barrel shaped cells. See, these are the barrel shaped cells which are arranged compactly, and they are parenchymatous in nature. Okay, and both the layers, they are composed of compactly arranged cells, and intercellular spaces, they are absent in it. Cuticle is seen on the both the sides of the epidermis. See, this blue line and this blue line, it is representing cuticle. Cuticle, it prevents transpiration and it protects epidermis. Okay, now comes the stomata part. Stomata is present only on the lower epidermis and not on the upper epidermis, and hence this condition is described as hypostomatic. Now come to the mesophyll part. Mesophyll is a ground tissue which occurs between two epidermal layers. It is exclusively composed of parenchyma cells, students. The mesophyll is characteristically differentiated into two regions. Upper is palisade mesophyll and lower is called as spongy mesophyll. Palisade mesophyll is composed of two or three layers of elongated, compactly arranged parenchyma cells, and intercellular spaces, they are absent in it. The cells contain a very large number of chloroplasts. And second is spongy mesophyll, which is composed of few layers of loosely arranged spherical. You can see that these are the spherical or oval shaped parenchyma cells with prominent intercellular spaces, and they contain very few chloroplasts. Okay, and this is the vascular system. Okay, now come to the TS of dicot leaf. See, this is the cuticle, this is the upper epidermis, this is the palisade mesophyll, okay, and which is composed of elongated cells which are arranged vertically and parallel to the each other, okay, and the oval or round and loosely arranged spongy parenchyma, it is situated below the palisade layer, okay. So this is your spongy parenchyma, okay, which extends to the lower epidermis. There are numerous large spaces and air cavities between these cells, because you can see that lots of intercellular spaces are present between the spongy mesophyll. Now what is this? This is your xylem. This is protoxylem. This is metaxylem and this is protoxylem, okay, and this blue one is your phloem. And what is this? This is your bundle sheet, okay. And what is this? This is the stomata, which is present only on the lower epidermis, and that condition is known as hypostomatic, because stomata is absent in the upper epidermis, students, okay. So that's the reason this condition is known as or described as hypostomatic, okay. But the thing is there that multicellular hairs, which is called as trichomes, they are present on both the layers, that is on the upper epidermis, which is also known as adaxial epidermis, and the trichomes, they are also present in the lower epidermis, which is also known as abaxial epidermis, okay. So this is what it is. And mesophyll, what it is? Mesophyll, they are ground tissue that occurs between two epidermal layers, okay, and they are exclusively composed of parenchyma cells. The mesophyll is characteristically differentiated into two regions, namely upper palisade parenchyma and lower spongy parenchyma, which I have already explained to you in detail, okay. And what are these? These are the guard cells. This dark green colored, they are guard cells, okay. Now students, what are the diagnostic features of dorsiventral leaf? How can you identify that it's a dorsiventral leaf, students? First is presence of two epidermal layers. First is this upper adaxial epidermis and lower, which is also known as abaxial epidermis. So presence of two epidermal layers tells us that it is a dorsiventral leaf, students. Second diagnostic feature of a dorsiventral leaf is presence of cuticle and trichomes in both the epidermal layer. See, this blue line is representing cuticle, okay, and this blue line is representing cuticle, which is present on both the sides of the epidermis, that is upper epidermis, which is also known as adaxial epidermis, and it is present in the lower epidermis, which is also known as abaxial epidermis, students, okay. And it is seen that trichomes, that are multicellular hair-like structure, they are present on upper epidermis also and in the lower epidermis also. What's the another diagnostic feature of dorsiventral leaf, students? Hypostomatic condition. As I told you, that stomata, they are present only on the lower epidermis, that is abaxial epidermis, and not on the adaxial epidermis, which is upper epidermis. Can you see the stomata present in it? No. But stomata and guard cells, they are present in the lower epidermis, which is also called as abaxial epidermis, students. And this condition is described as hypostomatic condition. Now comes another diagnostic feature, which is mesophyll. Mesophyll, as I told you, that it is a ground tissue. See this green part, it is your mesophyll, which is a ground tissue that occurs between the two epidermal layers. It is exclusively composed of parenchyma cells, okay. So the diagnostic feature of dorsiventral leaf is mesophyll, which is differentiated into upper palisade parenchyma. See, these two layers are the palisade parenchyma and these are your spongy parenchyma, okay. So this is the diagnostic feature of dorsiventral leaf. Now what's another diagnostic feature? the vascular bundle. See, this is protoxylem, metaxylem, phloem. These are presence of the bundle sheet made of parenchyma, and vascular bundle which are conjoined, collateral and endark-xylem. Okay, so these are the diagnostic features of a dorsiventral leaf. Now, presence of bundle sheet extensions which is made up of collenchyma, students. Okay, so these are the typical diagnostic features, like how you can identify typical dorsiventral leaf on the basis of these features. Okay, and these are the substomatal chambers. Okay, so this was all about the dorsiventral leaf, which is also known as dicotyledonous leaf. In my next section of the presentation, that is 14th section of chapter internal morphology of flowering plants, in that section of the video we will study about the monocotyledonous leaf, which is also known as isobilateral leaf, students. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Edupedia World videos. Thank you.